We had arrived in northern Vietnam, ready to cycle 2,000 kilometres down the coast from Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh, eating as many banh mis as possible along the way. But first we spent a few days in Hanoi enjoying the buzzing and colourful city, seeing the sights, exploring the laneways and getting our fill of street food, Vietnamese coffee and beer hoys. We left the former capital of North Vietnam well rested and full of good food, eager to start our journey south. Making our way through small back roads full of local markets, it didn't take us long to reach the open countryside where buffalo replaced motorbikes and rice fields replaced skyscrapers. A hot day's ride took us 100 kilometres south to the small city of Ninh Binh, where we spent a couple days exploring the stunning landscape of limestone mountains full of ancient pagodas. It was a great first stop on our tour of the country. When we left Ninh Binh, we found ourselves stuck on the busy highway for a while, racing along next to buses and the Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh Express. But as often as we could, we'd turn away from the coast and head west towards the mountains, where the only traffic was locals on bikes and we were surrounded by animals and lush green farmland. Because it wasn't until the 90s that cars became commonplace in Vietnam, the country has gotten used to using motorbikes for everything, from carrying farm equipment and animals, all sorts of tools and building materials, entire bird aviaries or huge panes of glass. We saw pretty much everything you could imagine being carried on the back of a bike. You get some pretty interesting foods here in Vietnam, and because of the language barrier you don't always know what you're ordering. Yesterday for lunch we thought we were just ordering some noodles and some rice and ended up with 2 bowls of eel soup. Humidity is pretty high here, up around 80%, so some pretty hot days riding. Take plenty of breaks along the way in the shade. We're hoping when we get down by the coast it cools off a bit. To try beat the heat, we would start our days at sunrise, always with an iced coffee and a banh mi. We'd get an hour or two's riding done before it was time for a rest in a roadside shack for sugarcane juice or another iced coffee, always served with a complimentary iced tea. These places were always full of friendly locals, often playing games like dominoes or checkers or billiards on tables with no pockets, or even having a bet on some cockfighting. On this part of our route, eating banh mis was becoming the highlight of our days, as we spent most of our time riding through large industrial zones and alongside power stations. Just looking for a hotel now. This is a pretty typical little town that we're staying in at the moment. Sort of like a nothing highway town. Truckers might find a hotel in for the night. Some of them offer pay by the hour rooms, so make of that what you will. But we don't need much, just somewhere to rest our heads for the night. A simple room with AC was costing us around 15 Aussie dollars a night and gave us somewhere to escape the heat, rest and wash our dirty clothes. With not many cities of interest in the north, we hadn't had a day off the bikes since leaving Ninh Binh, so we took a few days off to relax and enjoy some good food in the old imperial city of Hue. We just left Hue this morning, which was the first really nice town we got to since leaving Ninh Binh. We're now into the hills, which is really nice. Get some different scenery after about a week of pretty flat riding. Got the Hai Van Pass coming up tomorrow, which should be stunning. And looking forward to getting to Da Nang and Hoi An and spending some more time off the bikes there as well. The Hai Van Pass was the most hills we'd had so far along the coast, and with that came the best scenery too. It wasn't a particularly challenging pass, but still gave us a fun descent down the other side into the city of Da Nang, which we'd passed through on our way to cultural Hoi An. Just south of Hoi An now, and we're just on this absolutely stunning stretch of coast. Blue skies, blue water, hello friendly locals. And yeah, just having a great day, loving it, riding along the coast. Along the Vietnamese coast is the ever-present fishing industry, that with colourful boats and huge nets catches around 4 million tonnes of seafood per year to be consumed locally and shipped around the world. And with such a huge industry comes an almost constant smell of fish, from the trucks transporting it, the plants processing it, or often locals just selling and drying it on the side of the road. And while riding along in the baking heat, it was enough to turn us off eating seafood still to this day. After leaving Hoi An, which marked the halfway point of our trip down Vietnam, we felt like we were finally in the groove of dealing with the heat, getting some of the language down, and had started finding some different and delicious foods. The countryside and coastline were clean and beautiful, and we even met up with another bike tourist, making our way from Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh. We've got another cyclist with us today. who we just met on the road, who's also riding from Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh. We rode with Lemon for a few days. It was a lot of fun and full of good energy, and it was great to have some company to share the roads with. As we got further south, the route became busier, but also a lot more varied. In the space of a day, we'd start out on the coast, ride through some busy cities and into quiet tropical villages, cross a few bridges over rivers, head back out into the lush green countryside before ending the day on the coast for sunset, looking for a place to sleep. Everywhere we went in Vietnam, everyone always seemed to be busy. If not on the roads, then working on farms, moving their herds around, or in the endless rice fields that seemed to fill every bit of spare space throughout the country. We also saw many people drying rice themselves on any bit of spare space they might have in front of their homes or even on the side of highways. Markets were always packed, full of people buying and selling fresh meat, fruit and vegetables, and provided us with a good opportunity to stock up on supplies. There's no doubt the industries we saw most of in Vietnam were the rice and seafood industries. But we started to notice these large buildings everywhere with tiny windows in the sides, playing bird noises from speakers on top, and found out that they were part of the bird's nest industry. Built to attract sparrows to come make their nests inside, which would then be collected and sold for up to $5,000 US a kilo to be made into bird nest soup. This road along the coast is just quiet and cruisy and beautiful. So nice that we almost don't mind we got a headwind all day. Just in Ho Chi Minh now, dealing with the infamous Ho Chi Minh traffic. It's actually not too bad. We kind of love it amongst all the chaos. Heaps of bikes, everyone looks out for each other. Busy city. Our ride through Vietnam had not been what we expected it to be. Probably because we thought it would be very much the same all the way through. But we found out that Vietnam is ever changing and always surprising. It's rural and it's coastal. It's traditional and it's modern, it's hectic and it's chilled out. It was a tougher trip than we thought it would be, but one that we're very happy we made. Like and subscribe to this channel or check out our Instagram at We Ride Bikes Places to keep following our journey.